Hey y'all, I'm Catherine and welcome back to my channel where I help couples like you plan outdoor and adventurous elopement days that are stress-free and all about who you are as a couple. Today I want to talk to you about the best places to elope in the US and why I think they are some of the most beautiful places to explore and say your vows to one another on your elopement day. Let's dive in. There are tons of reasons to want to elope instead of having a big traditional wedding. And I already have a video out for y'all on some of the top 5 reasons to elope that you've probably never thought of. So go check that out if you'd like to know. But one of the main reasons that eloping is so awesome is that, okay, it is recording my voice. You can elope anywhere. You don't have to think about who you're going to invite and are they going to be able to get there. You are free to celebrate in a place that you've never been before or a place you really love, and it just gives you a lot more freedom. And so the problem with that is choosing that place. It can be a little bit harder than you imagine. So how do you choose the right place for you? You just kind of have to dive into some locations that you might have never been and also talk about places that you really love. So in this video today, I'm going to go over a few of my favorite places in the US for outdoor elopements and why I love them so much. Also, I'd love if you hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps me be able to produce more videos like this for free so that y'all get all the helpful info when it comes to planning your elopement and having the best day ever. But otherwise, let's get to it. For anyone who knows me and knows that I grew up in the Blue Ridge Mountains, probably wouldn't be surprised that my first location that I think is awesome to elope in is Western North Carolina. It is a beautiful place. We have so many different types of scenery to enjoy here, from beautiful cascading Blue Ridge Mountains to tons and tons of waterfalls, lush forests, rivers and creeks everywhere to explore and go swimming in, and lakes dabbled around all throughout the mountains. We have so much beauty. So this is a really awesome place to explore a few different things throughout the day. Not only that, but we have all 4 seasons. So really there isn't a bad time to elope in Western North Carolina, and each season that you want to come will have different positives and negatives. But you could come here any time of year and have a really incredible outdoor elopement experience. As long as you're prepared for the weather, you'd be set. Another positive about Western North Carolina that I take a lot of pride in is that I think people are really kind in the South. People say y'all and we smile at everybody that walks by and say hey, and there's this really cozy home vibe in Western North Carolina. Also, the city of Asheville is a really cool place. So there's a lot of awesome food, a lot of awesome beer and drinks, and a really unique community in the city of Asheville. And so if you're wanting to kind of have this outdoor adventure experience, but also have this small town but really cool foodie community vibe, then Western North Carolina is a really awesome place for that. All right. Location number 2 is Oregon. Going all the way across the other side of the country, Oregon has a lot in common with Western North Carolina, with really lush, beautiful green forests, 4 seasons, but there are some differences. Oregon actually is home to 10 national forests, which is way more than Western North Carolina has. Therefore, you're gonna have a lot more options to choose from when it comes to, protected land that you can explore and get out on trails for your elopement day. Another really cool thing about Oregon is the coast is mega beautiful. The big rock stacks in the ocean are really some of the coolest things I have ever witnessed. Another cool thing about Oregon is Crater Lake National Park, which is such a cool place. It is this gorgeous blue, really beautiful place to elope. So Oregon has a lot of options. Also, there's still a bunch of cool towns in Oregon, from Portland to Bend to Astoria. There are places, if you want to get into the city, that could be really cool to explore as well. All right, next on the list is California. So my partner and I did a beautiful Northern California road trip a few years ago during the summer, and wow, that place is really, really gorgeous with so many different options for places to elope in these really beautiful, beautiful, unique spaces all in one state. There are multiple national parks in California. There are deserts. There are incredibly beautiful coastlines, some of the most colorful I've ever seen. You get those big rock cliffs in Yosemite National Park, big lake vibes in Lake Tahoe. There are so many cool places, and even lots of little smaller places just deep in the mountains that are less populated, and you're gonna have a little bit more privacy and quiet time, and you're just gonna be a little bit more out in the wilderness. So there are options galore in California. Wow. Such a beautiful place. Then we're moving on to Maine. This state is really cool. It's such a unique vibe. I think all of these places so far have really kind of unique feelings to them. And so once you get up to Maine, this northeastern vibe is really calming, I would say, really laid back, but kind of classy, but kind of wildernessy. It's such a really interesting place. And so we road tripped all the way up to Maine from North Carolina a few summers ago and visited Acadia National Park and a few towns along the coast. And I'm not sure about the inland part of the state, but going to the coast of Maine particularly, I think is like super, super ideal, because you just get those islands right off the coast that you can see, and you get that sailboat ocean life, but also with mountains, which is really cool and pretty unique. Acadia National Park in particular still can get pretty busy in the summertime, but if you're willing to go in spring or fall, you will likely have a lot more places to yourself. And I've heard, the Northeast in the fall is just mind-blowingly beautiful. Wintertime is pretty intense in that area, so unless you want some, hardcore snow, which is also beautiful, then shoot for a different time of year. But you could also do winter and do that snowy Maine life as well. Last but not least on my list is Colorado. These are all super, adventure focused outdoor recreation states. So there's no surprise that these are all on my list. But Colorado is a mega awesome state for all things outdoor adventure. The Rockies are incredibly picturesque. There is some diversity in kind of what these mountains in Colorado look like, but there are also just a lot of really cool little towns tucked away, like Telluride and Crested Butte, that would just be such a cozy little place to celebrate your elopement day. There are fields of wildflowers as you hike up these mountains in order to get into alpine lakes that, nobody's at. One negative to Colorado is high altitude. When we went on our trip, I jumped right into a 6-mile hike and definitely had a high altitude sickness for a few days following. So not super fun. There's ways to prevent that and do your best to not get high altitude sickness, but you just want to take it slow on those kinds of hikes and adventures in Colorado if you're not used to high altitude. But otherwise, these are the 5 states that I think you should definitely consider when picking your elopement location in the US. I've got plenty of other places on my list and in my brain, such as Hawaii. Holy moly, so much beauty in Hawaii. Arizona's red rock deserts that are just mesmerizing, and Florida's Clearwater Springs, where manatees come every year to hang out. You can swim in them. They're just so blue you can't even believe it. There are tons of options. The best way to choose one of these options is to sit down and talk with each other about places you've already been that you really love, and if you want to spend your elopement day somewhere that is meaningful already to you, or if you actually want to just explore somewhere new together and really talk about that, mull that over. You can think about what things you'd like to do. Do you want to go mountain biking? Do you want to go hiking? Do you want to ski or snowboard, or do some whitewater rafting or climbing and those kinds of activities? Or do you want to go on a helicopter ride if you're not so into like the exertion on your elopement day? That's cool too. Picking what kind of things y'all want to do and how you want the day to feel and what you want it to look like will really help you narrow down the exact locations that are perfect for that. Also, Alaska. Helicopter rides in Alaska. Yeah, good stuff. I hope this kind of helped give you an idea of some of the places to look into when you're thinking about an outdoor adventure elopement. Let me know in the comments below if you have any thoughts or questions. Remember, I'd love if you'd like and subscribe if this was helpful for you, if you're planning an elopement day and you'd like a little more insight on what to do. I'm here to help. Have a good one. Bye.